I went to high school with Mr. Hargrove. I'm used to Mr. Bacon. You were a Wilson then, weren't you? And Mr. Bacon was actually a student teacher whenever I was in high school. Miles and I were officers together at Graves County. And I work for Kentucky Farm Bureau as their social media specialist. So how many people in here have Facebook? How many people in here have Twitter? Anybody have Pinterest or Instagram? Right. Most people are on Facebook, right? So even if you have everything else, most of you, just use Facebook. Well, I joined Farm Bureau back in June of last year, and since then we've launched about 12 to 15 different different social media properties. We have Facebook for Kentucky Farm Bureau. We have Facebook for our Young Farmers program, our Women's program, and then we have a Roadside Market program that we also have a Facebook page for. Anybody ever been to State Fair? Anybody seen Freddie Farm Bureau, the farmer that sits out front of Freedom Hall, kind of by the fountain, where you have to meet all the time? Well, I am actually I'm him on social media.
Can you tell me where the voice guy is?
Nope. That is a secret that I have to take to my grave.
Where is the guy? I've looked in the windows up there, see if I can see somebody hiding in there, but you're not going to tell me.
Okay, so Freddie, he talks, and he talks to people who walk by. So, and so if you were to walk by, he would say, hey, girl in the Aeropostale sweatshirt, how are you?
Yeah, it's kind of
I knew Freddie whenever I was growing up. He's been there since 1958, so a lot of people have grown up with Freddie. Yeah, typically he is it's like a meeting spot. If you're there with groups or there with your parents or whatever, it's like meet at Freddie, at 5 o'clock or something. So I started there in June, and that's when we launched our first social media property. It was Freddie, August 1st. And since then we have not stopped at all. We have a blog, which is called kyfbnewsroom.com. That's where we post all agricultural news from around the state, which is pretty cool. And then we share a lot of stuff across Facebook and Twitter. Now, so since I'm a social media specialist, a lot of people say, oh, well, you play on Facebook and Twitter all day, which is true. However, there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. I'm a strategist, so I strategize what messages are going to be coming from our brand. And Miles actually had a mistake when he introduced me. No, you're fine. I am with Kentucky Farm Bureau. First and foremost, Kentucky Farm Bureau is a non-profit organization that represents the interests of farmers in Frankfort and Washington. However, we do have a component. We have a separate company that is named Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance that we offer to our members. I actually work for the Federation, so I work for the nonprofit. I am on contract to the insurance company for some of their social media properties as well. But first and foremost, I'm here for farmers and not for car and home insurance. So I'm definitely the voice of agriculture for the state of Kentucky on our social media channels, which means I have to really watch what I say. They're planned out. We plan them out thematically for the entire year. I will come up with 52 different themes in January for the entirety of 2013. And then each week, today actually we would have been doing it, we actually plan out exactly what we're going to say on Facebook and Twitter for the next week, whether it be a photo, whether it be spontaneous. Next week we're actually going to be in Washington, D.C. doing a congressional tour, taking some members to meet their legislators and discuss topics with them, priority issues that we have, such as taxes. The estate tax was a big one, but now that it's permanent, that's really not as huge of an issue. But then we have other issues that we like to talk with our legislators about. So I will be tweeting live From there, you know, we have the planned ones for whenever I'm not out in the field. But today is kind of a tweet live kind of day because I'm out in the field. So I have been tweeting about Carlisle County High School and, you know, the classes that I meet. So that's kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis.